You obviously do a great job. You have a great team. You get people results. There's other people out there who are not doing this for the same type of people and charging way more, fraction of the cost from how much we made afterwards. And I've seen all of the testimonials. I see it every single day on his story at this point. But with Nick, it was like, hey, I'm going to come in. I'm going to tell you what you're doing wrong. We're going to make some one or two changes. That's all we're going to do. We didn't need to have another call with Nick for like the first 3, 4 weeks because the first call was literally just, this is what you need to do. This is what I do. This is what works.
All right. So today we're here on a new client interview with Warren. I appreciate the time that you take to do this. We just had a crazy client call for an hour, I think.
Yeah.
I appreciate you're here, brother. First of all, we've been working together for 2.5 months, and it's important that you do an introduction. I know
Yeah.
you go to Como with over 100 people very soon,
Yeah.
as a mastermind, a big event, but explain me about it. Tell me what's been going on.
Yes. So my name is Warren Mulvey, obviously working with Nick for the last 2, 3 months. Before that, we run affinity sales training. So we've trained like 2,000 sales reps at this point, go from zero to the first couple of thousand up to as high as 50, 60K in a month in high ticket sales. And we also manage high ticket sales teams. On average, with all our teams, they do around like 15 to 20 million a month. And the reason we got Nick on board was simply to help us with affinity. We were basically selling like a low ticket subscription business, which, it was great. We helped a lot of people, but it got to a point where like, hey, we can sell high ticket and we really needed that confidence from Nick. So that was the main reason we actually came across the Nick.
You're probably a very familiar face to a lot of people that will watch this testimonial. What is it specifically that you feel like you were struggling with? First of all, walk me through the numbers. But secondly, what is it that you were struggling with like 2.5 months ago? And what are the problems that we solved so people can kind of get like an idea of the things that we worked on the last 2.5 months and why we scale pretty fucking fast?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember having a conversation with Nick, like, I think it was literally when we were onboarding with his rep. I said, if we're not a testimonial in the first 2 months, like I'm embarrassed myself because this business has been doing so well for clients and getting results. It was just not charging enough. And it's the same thing that we were telling all of our clients, charge more, sell more, make more. And it sometimes it's refreshing to get a kick up the ass and somebody basically say, hey, you're doing this wrong. You should be charging more. You obviously do a great job. You have a great team. You get people results. There's other people out there who are not doing this for the same type of people and charging way more. So it was one getting the confidence. And then we launched with like a 2,500 euro program. So $3,000. And the first weekend we did about 40K. And keep in mind, before that, we were doing like 15, 16K a month in subscriptions. So it wasn't like off of like a 99 a month subscription based business, which wasn't terrible, but like everybody knows that running SaaS or subscription, like there's not enough margin in it, to be honest. So we
Correct.
said high ticket, 40K in the weekend. Over the course of the next month, we did another 30, 40K. And now we're looking at 100K months. So literally 2.5 months later, we're looking at six figures a month from a high ticket business instead of just being a 16, 17K with a low
From
ticket
60K
subscription
a
business.
month, low ticket subscription, inconsistency to 100K a month high ticket with high
Yep.
profitability, a big team. I like that. I like that. We've been working a lot on profile ad story sequences as well. It's what we just talked
Yep.
about in a client call as well. You said that a lot of people, or you said that you've paid people before more money that couldn't deliver results. What is a very important factor into looking to decide to invest into the right person from your perspective? Because obviously you have a lot of experience in investing. You've made a lot of money yourself. Like what's the cycle behind it?
I think the biggest thing is trust. Like whenever you're paying somebody, and for myself specifically, when I'm looking to invest, I'm like, okay, does this person have a tr proven track record? Are they working with other people in the same industry with me, which they are, which Nick was? And I've seen all of the testimonials. I see it every single day on his story at this point. And I think I started seeing it like 8 months before. So there was like 8 months of like kind of
Conversion
seeing it,
plus
kind of
1%
seeing
every
it.
single fucking day.
Just seeing, and then when we had the decision, we're like, hey, we actually need to get somebody on. It was like, oh, we want to work with this person or that person. And the reason we didn't work with the other person was they were just not clear on what they were offering. Like it actually just didn't make sense. But with Nick, it was like, hey, I'm going to come in. I'm going to tell you what you're doing wrong. We're going to make some one or two changes. That's all we're going to do. We're going to make a predictable system with ads, which we needed. And hey, we're going to help you with these story sequences to do the same thing that happened to me over the previous 8 months with all of the audience that was coming in from ads and still coming in from
Exactly.
ads.
What do you feel like is it that we do different compared to most programs or most people that, whether you want to call it programs, mentors, or anything like that?
I think the biggest thing for me and why it worked so well was how concise it was. Because there's a lot of people who sell like even for less than what we paid to come on board, which was a fraction of the cost from how much we made afterwards, is they like create this big program and it's like 20 hours long, 30 hours long. It's a long time and you're just overwhelmed with information. To me, like I don't even want to be near that. I don't have time to be doing that either. I'm like, hey, what's the two things that we need to do that we could do today? And that it was clear cut. This is what you need to do. If you don't do it, you're going to be broke.
Gotcha. Yeah, you know that I make very complex content, right? So I always go into the detail in things, and
Yep.
I do that with my clients as well, which is what is important. What people don't understand is that complexity is created in the front end for me when it comes down to marketing, but also in the back end, but only for the most important things. I feel like the biggest problem right now with a lot of people as well, and maybe you'll see that as well, is like there's so many people that focus on solving the wrong problems and they don't actually know what gets their clients to the next levels. Does that make sense? And I feel
Yeah.
like that's crucial. You even just said it just yet. So you're Nick, you know what? Next week we don't need a call because I just want to get clear on exactly this and this and this. I provided information, I gave you the implementation systems, SOPs, and we'll get it done. You
Yeah, and
know?
even on the call, like my team was like, "Oh yeah, let's do another call on it." And I'm like, "Guys, we are not a corporate company." And Nick said himself, "Like, you could do this right now. Like, why the fuck
You
would we
know
do
what's so funny,
another call?
bro? Like
Wait."
the, you know what's so funny? The best clients that I get the best results to is scale from whatever to you do 100K a month with the team in under 3 months. The main thing that I realized is people that pay in full. You pay in full to the end? No, you didn't.
No, no, we had a quick like 15-minute
Fucking
call.
hell, bro. That's pretty bad. No, I'm joking. But you paid we had quick chat and the people that pay the most want to save me the most amount of time and get the most amount of value about like from the least amount of time input. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's what makes great clients. So that's absolutely excellent. Is there anything that changed specifically? What is that? What were the mechanisms we utilized, we worked on together that made a big change compared to like let's say running the standard VSL funnel, right? Because bro, you won't understand. We made 240K last month. The majority of the reason why people came to me is because they were working with outdated stuff. They were not doing any story sequences. They don't understand what works now in 2025,
Yep.
onwards.
Yep.
Were there any specific mechanisms that you say that helped the most into creating that 100K month?
Yeah, I would say a lot of it has to do with the ads. Like what we were doing with ads was we were actually sending them to the company page, and it wasn't a personal brand at that time. And ironically, it was actually it was converting well for the low ticket, but we knew over time that we need to switch to Josh's account. It needs to be a personal brand. We need to do story. We'd never done story sequences before. Like people would see the stories and you would do like a long, but it wasn't consistent. That's why we got somebody full time to come in and do it, train them, give them insight for the whole week. And the first training that we did with Nick, like we didn't need to have another call with Nick for like the first 3, 4 weeks because the first call was literally just, this is what you need to do. This is what I do. This is what works. And if you change that, and my philosophy is if you change the wagon wheel, it's your fault. Like if you change what works currently, it's your fault.
I love that, bro. I think that's beautiful. And I said, like, it's a combination of running the right. It's like what people don't understand. I always talk about a content ecosystem. Although I feel like, and I think you told me this one on the other call, you start to understand the importance of it the moment you start to build it and the moment you start to realize it. That's the problem. People
Yep.
don't know what they miss out on the moment you don't have that information. So you
Yes.
only realize certain things. You only realize that you need to solve certain problems when you're aware about these problems, right?
Yeah.
It's
It's this
fucking sales, bro. When you're aware about, when you are aware, you have helped over 2,000 people become closers, right? Um, you have affinity sales, like you run different like offers, and as a sales closer, the most important thing is when you understand the prospect's needs, you can
Mhm.
solve
Yep.
it with fucking sales. It's extremely easy.
Yeah.
Same for
Yeah,
me,
like for
man. Like for
example, like
me,
we were looking at the content today, and even today we were like, is this a person that's going to pay us 5K? No, do not do this again. Is this a piece of content that's going to attract the right people that pay 5K? No. Okay, let's not do it again. Is it content that relates to your audience? No. Let's not do this again. Let's alter. It's like you don't, it's like, it's funny. People say they don't need a coach or they don't need somebody showing them, but it always reminds me of like Michael Jordan. Or Michael Jordan,
exactly
three peat 2 times in a row. Even he had a coach.
correct.
He had somebody in his corner saying, "Hey, this is what you're doing." They were watching the game tape together. This is what you're doing wrong. This is what you need to change because the
Data,
coach,
bro.
the data, he could point out what Michael couldn't even see himself.
Exactly. And when I know exactly what the data points are, I can help also my clients, you, as best as possible to make improvements further on.
No.
So that's crucial. What is it looking like? What's the process look like? Because most people that are watching this testimonial are probably doing anywhere between 10 to 50K.
Okay.
What would you say is the most crucial thing? Explain me three things that got us to 100K per month.
I think you need to
From
stop.
like, let's say 25 to 100. Because bro, so many, like I get asked the question all the time. When people ask me, yo, Nick, like I'm stuck at 25K, what do I need to do? I tell you, just pay me in the DMs. And then they're like, no or yes. So I don't give an answer the moment people don't pay me. There's no need to, right? Because I have
Yeah.
fucking 20 hours of YouTube content providing the best sequences. But I'm curious to hear your take on it. And I always ask my clients this question, what your experience was creating that path line.
I think the first thing for me, Nick, is an A player team, like an A player environment. Like you need to have somebody, one in your corner who's, as I said at the start of the call, the first thing I said was somebody who's done it before, knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about, which also strings into your team. If you have B players on your team, B players spread like a disease.
Correct. Oh,
Can't
shit.
can't have them at all. And when we did our first 40K that weekend, we increased the salary of every single person on the team because we knew that this would be the team that would take us to 300K a month, never mind just 100K a month. And so reinvesting into them because we know they're A players and we want to keep them. Secondly, like sticking to one thing. So like throughout this whole process, we've obviously had like people saying, "Hey, I'll run a VSL or do this or do that or run a webinar or do a weekly webinar." I'm like, it's already working. Like why would we change?
Exactly. You need to get your head straight. The moment you grow is the moment you get the most opportunities, is the moment you get like shiny
Shiny
object
object
syndrome,
syndrome.
right? That's the
Exactly.
moment exactly where
Shiny,
most people
shiny funnel
feel
syndrome.
exactly shiny funnel syndrome. Which fucking funnel do I choose? Which story sequence do I make?
That's a
Which
story
ad
sequence
funnel do I choose?
later.
Right? So yeah, exactly. So it's like people when you start to do good, you get presented too many opportunities, which is exactly the reason of why when you're doing good, you start to do less good because you start to pick for different opportunities instead of maintaining your frame of what you're doing already works. Like what you're doing already works, so keep fucking doing that. It's not that
Exactly.
complicated, and you have me to hold you accountable, and your students or clients have you,
Yeah,
that holds them accountable. It's like a cycle. And I think that's like very, very important as well. It's not only the technical analysis of things, it's also accountability in coaching that I think is crucial.
yeah,
Accountability, communication, honesty, and just like understanding each other. Communication is crucial, bro. It
exactly.
fails.
I couldn't put it better myself because like I always go back to what Alex Mosey said, which is like better, more new. And like most people just go to new. And that's why those people, the revenue like always go down because they're trying to fix
Exactly.
everything. Whereas they don't even know, even if it works, which one actually worked.
I'm always explaining this myself, but I'm very curious to hear it from you. What is
Okay.
the type of person that you think will fit best working with me from
Mm.
your perspective? So let's say somebody is watching right now. People either
Mm.
relate or be like, "Yo, this doesn't make any sense." I'm very curious what you'd say.
I think somebody who you're running an offer, like the first thing obviously we did was like, hey, this is the offer that needs to be changed. So we needed guidance on what exactly should we be selling? What's the price point? We needed somebody just saying, no, this is what you do from a third perspective. Somebody who's kind of unsure on your offering one, unsure of how to scale sustainably. And when I say that, it's like you're spending money, you think you're making money, you don't know what you're making, you don't know what your
Don't know
margins
how
are,
you're making it. Yeah, you
you don't
can
know how
you
you're
cannot make
making
it
money,
repeatedly.
you don't know why they're paying, you don't know why they're staying, you don't know why they do well. So like that type of individual we usually always stay between 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100K a month because they don't even understand what takes us to that next level. Well, no shit, it's doing the same fucking thing, just paying double on ads.
Exactly. I love that. And that's one of the best answers I've gotten, to be fair, based on what's needed, because that's extremely crucial what you're saying as well. And also, um, the better the clients you attract, the better the delivery is. You'll see
Mhm.
for yourself. Like the type of clients we attract last month in terms of clients is a lot better than with the subscription model. shitty fucking people. They don't continue. You need to force yourself to provide the most insane value, and they're still
Yeah.
not fucking happy. They don't take any action. How important is attracting the right clients and building a lean but very high profitable company?
I think it's everything. Like even the people who stayed the longest into the subscription business would have paid high, one, they would have paid high ticket, but the
Exactly.
reason they did well is they had the characteristics behind a winner. So like when we're doing our marketing now, I only want to attract those people. So when we're looking at, it's actually easier for us than maybe some other smaller offer owners out there because we know where the testimonials are coming from, what's their background, why did they join, what they find benefit in. So it's actually easier for us to find the ICP because we already had it. But I would say it's crucial. It's the difference between having 90% margins and having 50% refunds in a month.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. Like working with the right client saves you the most amount of headache in the back end as well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It saves you so much fucking headache in the back end, and I think that's insanely
Like no,
important.
no matter how good your CSM is, when she's talking to broke leads that are complaining about, hey, can
Bro,
I get
that's
my
the point. And
back?
that's why
Like,
I built like working with the right clients, you can leverage that all in your front end marketing as well. You know where I'm coming
exactly.
from? That's what
Exactly.
we're doing.
I think that's
Posting
the best
credibility.
FOMO. The biggest thing I've gotten from the ads and from the story funnel and what I've learned is FOMO doesn't like when you're putting up stories like which used to work in 2020, 2021, 2022. Oh, I need three more people for my coaching business, X, Y, Z. I'm looking for this type of person. No, that is not FOMO. FOMO is these people are currently joining my offer. Why aren't you? This is the
Correct.
reason they're joining.
Instead
Why?
of you don't do it from a scarcity perspective, from a fake scarcity perspective. You do it from like a more of a real angle, where you
Exactly.
feel relatability. You create FOMO based on pain points that are solved and people that still have certain pain points. And I think that's beautiful, bro. That's like what we always, that's what I do in all my clients. Like I teach them that in terms of like building something true that creates so much sustainability, because this art, bro, I guarantee I'll be the biggest one in what I do in 5 years from now, by far. You are the biggest one in what you do by far in 5 years from now. While all the other guys do make money now, but in 2 years, they're out of the fucking game because they cannot
Yeah.
sustain themselves, because the fucking prospect has heard 17 times that that's the last spot left. You know where I'm coming from,
And
right?
it burns
So,
their audience. Like when I'm looking at our wins channel, in my mind, the first thing I'm thinking is story sequence, story sequence, story sequence. Because I'm not even joking, there's wins every single day of people making money inside Affinity.
fulfillment. We worked
And
on
what
that.
we used to do was like, oh, we're looking for four more people. No, that doesn't work. Screenshot the win, explain their story, and tell and explain why they joined. And say, hey, look, there actually is people in here. Because the worst thing any prospect wants to do, and this comes back to like why I would have even paid for yourself, Nick, at the start when you asked me that question, is trust. Oh,
Yes.
other people are paying 5K. I should probably do this as well. Because even if they don't
Trust.
pay on the first call, they're going to see it three times that week, three
Exactly.
times
And
next
and
week.
and the point is, the people that have the patience to wait are the people that profit the most.
Yep.
I've one other question. The most important thing, I said, we've made a lot of money together in the last 2.5 months. It's been going excellent. But like people always talk about that in a client testimonial like this. But how much have your clients made? How much client revenue have you made in the last like 2 months with all the clients that you have? And how much has that increased compared to 5 months ago? How is
Yeah.
the fulfillment actually improved?
The fulfillment got completely revamped because when you have more money, you can also perform better for your clients. You can get a better CSM, maybe an
Can
Irish girl.
allocate more
If
cash.
you need CSMs, text my sister. I'm the sales twin. My sister's the CSM twin. Text her. She can send you some nice Irish girls with a good smile. But we get better results. So with the clients, they actually make more because we've allowed people from our coaching program to also coach within the program, which means
Exactly.
that
The
it's
best way to hire is hire from your own students or your own clients. That's the best way to hire.
which also means that when we're placing into our own sales teams, don't forget we manage like 10, 15 teams elsewhere. I can't say on the testimonial, but you guys will see a
I
big
know,
long
yeah.
September. And like when I'm looking at those teams, I'm like, okay, well, the leaders in those teams need to be from my own program because I know that they're trustworthy, they'll stay longer, they'll perform better, and they'll outwork absolutely everybody. And
That's
they're better
100%.
hires. So when Nick is talking to my whole team, it's like they've been through my program. Every single one of those people have been through the program, and they want to work with us by proximity. because we're making more. We're not just looking at, hey, we want to do 100K. Our agency elsewhere to Affinity should do 600K over the next 2 months.
Oh,
So like
correct. Absolutely.
outside of what we're
We'll
talking
make another testimonial by the end of the 6 months, bro, and then we'll see where we're at.
about.
Right?
For sure. Because
Yeah,
I'm not afraid to spend money now. I think that was another new way of looking at it from an off firm. It's like, of course we just spend money. Like, of course, like Nick hops on is like, why don't you do 300K in September? Just spend 5 times more money.
exactly.
I was like, all right, okay,
Do it. And that's the point, right? It's not just spending the more money that makes you the more money. It's the mindset of having to willing to spend more money, which puts you in that frame of state of making $300,000 a month. And then when you put yourself in that state of mind, you instantly start solving the problems that is required to get to a 300K a month.
exactly.
Beautiful, bro. I appreciate you a lot. One last question. What would you say to the people that are watching right now that are potentially on the fence of investing in me?
Don't be a pussy. Scared money doesn't make money.
Done. That's
Everything is
well
high
said.
risk if you're a pussy.
Yeah, that's correct. To be fair, that's so fucking true. That's actually
Yeah,
a good point. I'll keep that in mind. Now, bro, I appreciate you a lot, bro. I'm excited for the upcoming 4 months. Let's fucking
yep,
crush it. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna do a new testimonial, and
easy,
let's scale 500K a month. I appreciate you.
easy. Appreciate it, Nick. If you're
Reggie,
watching, sign up.
ciao.